Hi, welcome to Scuba. This is the minimise instinct regulator. It's fitted with the minimise MR12S first stage. It's a nice, tight, compact, little balanced diaphragm first stage, all built around this centred little body. You've got 4 low pressure ports and 2 high pressure ports orientated around the body to give sort of normal hose orientation. Bump cap on the bottom, so you've got a little bit of protection against it being knocked around, especially if you're poking into holes or into wrecks. It does give it a little bit of protection. Provided in a A-clamp, 232 bar, as you can see here, but also comes in the 300 bar fitting as well. So you've got all the ports around the outside, bump cap on the top, and then you can just see the pre-set adjustment point. Supplied with the Superflex hose. So braided hose is much more durable, UV protection as well, much higher burst pressure than standard rubber hoses, so their shelf life is a lot longer. And then the Instinct second stage is basically different to anything else. It's an offset design, so it's much closer to the face, the centre of gravity is much closer, so there's much less weight on the jaw when the actual regulator is in the mouth. Comes in at an angle, so the actual hose orientation is much closer to the body, so you don't have hose coming around you, might cause a snag issue or anything like that. It's actually very, very close to the body. And then the exhaust valve is offset as well, so it's actually drawing the bubbles up around the back of the head rather than up in front of the face. So very simple design, but obviously very well implemented. Big purge button on the front, it's actually on a hinge, so it is very, very easy to use. And then rather than having holes in the front, which obviously allow the diaphragm to pull in and out, they're set further back. And it's great for working in currents. So normal regulator will be affected by current, it being pushed onto the diaphragm, which might cause it to free flow. But on the Instinct, they're actually further back, they're not affected by current, so unless you're directly orientating it into the flow, it won't be affected by current pushing on the diaphragm. The diaphragm is also a new shape, it's an elliptical, and it's designed to give a much better breathe for the size of the regulator. Again, on the back you can see that the exhaust valve is offset, and it's much further back than the standard regulator, and it does push the exhaust away from the face. Got a standard minimise bypass tube, which basically gives a much better flow to the mouthpiece. Draws it straight from the valve to the mouthpiece, giving a nice even flow, and helps create a vacuum behind the diaphragm, which draws it down and gives you a much better flow generally. And then finally the mouthpiece, very soft silicone, sort of ergonomically designed obviously to fit into the mouth very comfortably. All edges have been given a nice soft finish, rounded off to help prevent any irritation in the gums. And then you've got big lugs and grips just to keep it in there, help prevent any fatigue in the jaw. So, minimise Instincts, unique design, great performance. It's minimise Instinct regulator.